The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and as sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outkast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com.
Since 1935, one event has brought us together for the passion, the pageantry, and the celebration of the upper echelon of college football. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. New Year's Eve at noon. Don't miss El Paso's greatest game.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton, hanging out with you here on this Wednesday afternoon, hoping that everybody is having themselves a fantastic day so far. I am excited about some of the stuff that we've got. We're going to be talking about the college football playoff. We're fixing college football. That's what's happening here. We are fixing college football. Our guy, Tommy Cananza, tuning into today's show saying, what's good, Tip? What's good, Tommy? Hope that you're having yourself a fantastic day today, my friend. Happy 17. You got me thinking about that stuff because my oldest now is 13, which means 17 is right around the corner. And I'm not too sure how I'm going to handle that. Like, I'm going to need help. Copious amounts of alcohol are going to be the way that I get through my children getting older. I don't want it to happen. It's a slow down time. Time needs to just slow the hell down. I am done with time moving as fast as it is. But you know what? Well, it's like that cliche, right? Like they always give you these cliche things. And they'll like, there was a thing that I had seen that was like, hey, it's like, what's the toughest part about, raising a kid? And it's like watching you grow up. And then it's like, what's the most rewarding part about raising a kid? And it's watching you grow up. It's that double-edged sword that we've got. Let me see. I got a message here from somebody. I believe the Crooked Commish. I know they've got a show going on right now. Does the Crooked Commish watch it though? Like he wanted, I guess he wanted me to watch or join the show. I'm not 100% sure on what it was. He didn't send me any links or anything like that today. So hey, I'm doing it today. A little bit later after the show, y'all can go hang out with the Crooked Commish, have yourself a good old time. They're going to be talking about fantasy football, and I don't think anybody at this point in time needs to take my advice on fantasy football. It's been absolutely atrocious, and I do not use that word lightly for how my fantasy football team has been. I hope everyone else's fantasy football teams have been better. Mine is just it's not good. I've got nothing to brag about. I've missed the playoffs in all 4 of my leagues, and in all 4 of my leagues, I was the first team out. Right, so like you got the 6 teams that make the playoffs. I'm number 7 in 4 leagues. The most annoying part of what I've got going on. It sucks. It really sucks. This space of fantasy football, where I think I'm halfway decent with fantasy football. Why do I feel like the aspect ratio? I don't like that. It's weird. I'm going to peel back the curtain a little bit here. StreamYard, which is the service that I use to do the shows and stuff like that, brought out this brand new thing that's called aspect ratio. It's a Mars studio, so I can be broadcasting 2 different aspects at the same time. I can probably also do it with Instagram. Now that I think about it, I just haven't really done much on Instagram. So maybe I should. Maybe that's the route to go. Right? Going the Instagram route. But like it has like these different ratios and things like that are going on. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. But you know what? I'm good with it. I'm happy. I'm excited. We're still doing the shows. Learning different technology. An old guy learning new technology. Look at me doing all kinds of cool stuff. Look at that. It even shows me whenever I retweet my own broadcast. Look at that. I love that. Awesome. Good stuff going on there. I had mentioned it earlier. There was a lot of issues, and Tommy, I want to get your thoughts on this. There were a lot of issues that people had with the college football playoff. Whether or not Alabama, a 3-loss Alabama team, belonged in the college football playoff over a 10-2 Notre Dame. Now you can say, Tip, Notre Dame doesn't belong in because they've lost 2 games on their schedule that were against the only 2 good opponents they played. They beat the brakes off of Pitt, but Pitt wasn't really that good of a school. Who did Notre Dame beat? And their schedule just wasn't something that you would really write home about. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't something that anybody would get excited about. Then you look, on the juxtaposition of, well, the playoff committee let in two group of 5 teams in Tulane and James Madison. And I have to sit here and think to myself, I think we can all say with as much certainty as possible that it doesn't matter if JMU and Tulane are in the college football playoff, because I don't think anybody really thinks that Tulane has a legitimate shot at winning the college football playoff. I don't think anybody out there thinks that James Madison has a legitimate shot of making a deep run in the college football playoff. I don't think anybody believes that. So I sit back and I think to myself, why is it that we have to genuflect to these group of 5 teams? And I mentioned this on the Sun Bowl selection show on Sunday. Thank you to the people that tuned in for that show. That I understand Notre Dame's gripe, because for 6 weeks, basically, you were told you're better than Miami, despite Miami having the head-to-head. Right? You're better than Miami, despite Miami beating you the first game of the season. Right? And if I'm Notre Dame, I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm sitting pretty. I'm in the playoff. Right? Like that's all I want to do. Just make it to the dance. I've got this. It's Miami that helped to get in. Well, BYU loses 2 losses this year for BYU to the best team in the Big 12, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And you kind of have to sit back and say to yourself, okay, well, BYU lost. I can understand them not being in the playoff. Now that puts Miami and Notre Dame right next to each other. And for 6 weeks, a month and a half, I've been hearing that Notre Dame is better despite the fact that Miami beat them. And then comes Sunday, and we get the curveball of all curveballs of Miami's in the college football playoff and not Notre Dame. So I can understand Notre Dame getting upset. Tommy Canazza saying, my Sooners are in, LOL, no issues here, JK. But yeah, I would have put some of the big programs in over the 2 group of 5s. And I know it's an unpopular thing whenever I say this type of stuff. I don't think the group of 5 belongs. Like, you cannot convince me that any of the teams in the group of 5 are legitimate contenders. Like, I just do not believe that at all. And the college football playoff shouldn't be, shucks, you guys did awesome. Congratulations on being in the college football playoff. That's like, it's not the participation trophy. And to tell me, I'm going to look up the rankings because I want to get this right. There you are. I want to make sure that I get this right. If you're telling me that Tulane is better than the 10 teams in the college football playoff rankings that are ahead of them to get into the college football playoff, then why the hell not just rank Tulane number 11? You see what I'm saying here? If you're going to tell me that James Madison is better than the 13 teams that were ahead of them, then why not just rank them number 12? Why is it that you have the number 20 team in the country and the number 24 team in the country that high up in your rankings? Like those 2 teams, you say they won their conference, the MAC and whatever the hell, the AAC, I guess, that James Madison is in. So you guys get to be in the college football playoff. It seems ridiculous to me that you would sit there and be like, okay, that's fine. We'll have those teams get in. Because at number 12, you have BYU, a 2-loss BYU. And remember, BYU's 2 losses are to one team, Texas Tech. Granted, they're not close losses, but if you lose to the number 4 team in the country twice, and those are your only losses, you did pretty well for yourself. And then at number 11, you have Notre Dame. What did the group of 5 teams do? Who did they play for the playoff committee, for everyone out there to be okay with, yeah, we'll allow the 20th team, the 20th ranked team, and the 24th ranked team into the college football playoff ahead of 10 and 13 teams. Like, again, like put Texas in there. Put Vandy, Utah, USC, Arizona, Michigan, although Michigan's got their own problems going on right now. Jesus, Shamar Moore, what are we doing? I saw a thing. I've got to do like research on this to make sure it was actually true. But I'm dumbfounded. I'm baffled by the fact that this is what's going on in the college football playoff. So I had brought it up a couple of years back. I think it was whenever the college football playoff was going to expand for the first time to 12 teams, right? This is before we did it, the last year of the 4-team college football playoff. And I said to myself, if you're going to expand it, then you just need to make it a top 25. Tommy Canazza saying it really is ridiculous and declining bowl games is crazy to me. You take your ball and go home. And you know what? I'm fine with it. If that's what Notre Dame wants to do, I am fine with it. Because like I said, they have a legitimate gripe. You've been told for a month and a half, for 6 weeks, ever since I started doing these bullshit ranking shows, that you were better than Miami. And then just for the committee to be like, James Madison, Tulane, you guys get in. Because that's who people want to see. James Madison and Tulane. I want to see the best teams play. And I know for a fact, because I watched that James Madison versus Troy game, and it sucked. That Monday Night Football game that we all sat through with the Philadelphia Eagles having a hard time scoring, just like they were your drunk friend at a bar, was more entertaining than James Madison versus Troy. But yeah, let's get James Madison and Tulane in here. They deserve it. So again, I took it upon myself to create a nice little graphic here. Well, I want to look at Tommy's comment here saying, I just wonder if they asked the kids what they wanted to do, because I don't think it's fair for the seniors who are not going to go to the NFL, and this is the only chance that they'll get at a bowl game. As much as I'd love to agree with you on that, right? Like it does suck. If I'm a senior and I don't have any more football left, I want that one game. You know what I mean? I want that one more game. But we were raised differently. You look at the kids that play now, and it's just kind of like, I don't care, right? Like, you guys do whatever the hell you want to do. As long as my NIL check continues to clear, I'm a happy guy. That's really what it is like now. So I went along and I made my top 25 bracket. And it has the first four teams: Indiana, Ohio State, Texas Tech, and Georgia. They get bye weeks. But in order to make this work, the top 7 teams have to get a bye week. And I'm fine with that, because that's Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oregon, right? I am perfect with that. You give the big bowls, obviously the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, you give those bowls priority, right? Like they get the later rounds of the playoffs, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the playoffs. That's where those bowls belong. And then you give the smaller bowls their shot, right? Like people keep talking about, wow, that wasn't supposed to happen. People keep talking about the fact that nobody cares about these bowl games, right? Like Augustine, super loud, as he always is, about this stuff, right? So I got to look up how I'm going to do this. This is going to be an interesting one. I've got to get my graphic back up. This is the downside of having to work before doing the show, as I've got to try to figure out the rankings that I had. I might need to get my laptop in here, but we might do that a little bit later. But what you see here, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring it up. I'm trying to remember how these rankings and stuff went. I have like files up here. Okay, let me do this. I want to bring this back up, and I'm going to write down what my matchups are. So that way I get the right bowl at the right time, and we get the right rankings, and we do all that stuff, right? So the first one up would be Arizona State, or Arizona rather, versus USC. Arizona versus USC. And we would put them in, and I did this just based off of normal bowls that are available, right? That's all I did it off of, was like the bowls that we have that are available. I gave the more historic bowls a little bit of love, because I believe that the older bowls deserve a little bit of love. So I gave the Las Vegas Bowl Arizona and USC, which would be a fun matchup, right? And it would actually have more people watching because it's a playoff game, the Las Vegas Bowl. And then I said to myself, let's get rid of that. What would the next bowl be? Right? Like what could our next bowl be? And it was, as I try to find it, I'm stalling here because now I got to go through files because I swore I had this saved correctly, but I guess I didn't. The next one would be the Rate Bowl, which would have Utah versus BYU. That Southern Cal and Arizona matchup would be your 16-17 matchup, right? So they're taking on each other. They are the worst of the worst, the closest matchup that you can get. Yeah. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out on the fly. I had it fixed. I'm telling you. You can tell by my graphic. Where are we? There we are. I think I might have just messed a team up there, but that's fine. You kind of get what it is. The first 7 teams get a bye. The top 7 get a bye. So we would be looking at Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M getting a bye. Then you would have Oklahoma, Tommy Sooners, taking on number 25 North Texas. And we put them in their own little bowl. The bowl that I had for Oklahoma and North Texas was the New Orleans Bowl, right? That would be fun. Again, another playoff game. We're getting more football. We're making these bowls more relevant because who the hell is going to watch the New Orleans Bowl? Let's see who's in the New Orleans Bowl this year. I probably should have put the RL Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Jesus Christ, they don't make it easy to find out who's in it. Probably should have had some of these up before I started the show. But again, this is what happens whenever you do a show right after you get out of work. My apologies. Oh, there's a Coca-Cola Bowl? I didn't even know that. Looking. Okay, so in the New Orleans Bowl right now is Western Kentucky and Southern Miss. Who gives a crap about that matchup? Like genuinely, outside of Western Kentucky and Southern Miss fans, who cares about that matchup? Because I think if we made it a playoff game between and North Texas, more people would be willing to watch that game than what we currently have right now of the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky, and Southern Miss. That's not a bowl game that I think anybody would be interested in watching. Then you would have your 9-24 matchup between Alabama. Let's see if I can find it. Between Alabama and JMU. And we put that in the 68 Ventures Bowl, which is something I had never even heard of until I started doing all this stuff. So let's find out who is currently playing in the 68 Ventures Bowl. There are way too many bowls. Jesus Christ, where is this bowl? I know I'd seen it earlier. On my list here. In the current 68 Ventures Bowl, you have Louisiana versus Delaware. Louisiana versus Delaware. Augustine says, who gives a crap about any bowl that isn't the playoffs? Let's be real. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. Jesse Carter saying, watching from a hospital room loaded on morphine. Love you, Brobert. Got nothing but love for you too, my guy. Hope that you're doing okay. That makes me worried about you, Jesse. Hopefully everything is going well with you. I know morphine is fun. So we got that working for it. So let's make this game, the 68 Ventures Bowl game, a playoff matchup between Alabama and James Madison. Again, now you're creating a want of people to actually watch this game, right? Like, that makes it to where people are going to be interested in actually watching this game. Your 10-23 matchup would be Miami and Iowa, right? Miami and Iowa. And I'm not going to show these things anymore because it's a lot there's a lot of moving parts and stuff like that, which really upsets me because I made a ton of graphics. So I might just do a little thing by myself, make like a little montage video, kind of how I did with the NFL draft. And then I'll add that on social media. I'm just not going to do it right now because there's a lot of moving parts and I don't like the way that it's going right now. My apologies sincerely. You know, that's a better view. The fact of the matter is that if you expand the playoffs to 25 teams, first off, who gives a shit about the number 26 team? I don't even know who the number 26 team would be because I don't think anyone cares about that type of stuff, right? Like, it would all be about just making it in the top 25. If you're not good enough to be in the top 25, you don't get to complain. End of discussion. Enough of this bullshit that the college football committee has done, where we're snubbing out teams like BYU, teams like Notre Dame, Texas, Vanderbilt, Utah, USC, Arizona, Michigan, and Virginia, so that we can have Tulane in just because Tulane won whatever conference Tulane is in. Then you're missing out on Houston, Georgia Tech, and Iowa to allow James Madison in, because James Madison is a good team. Give me a break. Neither one of those teams, Tulane nor James Madison, have a legitimate shot at winning the college football playoff. And every single one of us knows that. That's the frustrating part about this, right? And the fact of the matter is that with those lower tier bowls, the way that I kind of work this thing out is that there's still, believe it or not, you're using 24 bowls for this college football bowl playoff thing that we're doing. And you still have almost 20 bowls left to choose from for the other teams to deal with. And it's the only way, like genuinely, the only way that you can fix college football. Because as of right now, we should be celebrating teams like Texas Tech. We should be celebrating that Indiana, of all teams, is the number one team in the country. We should be like, man, look how awesome this run was for Ohio State, for Georgia, the way they dominated Alabama. That should be what's leading the headlines right now. Not, oh, look at Notre Dame taking their ball and going home. like a bunch of little bitches because things didn't go their way, because they scheduled a bunch of Pop-Tarts after they had 2 games against really good teams and they wound up getting their ass kicked. And now we have 2 group of 5 teams that literally nobody cares about outside of their small fan group that have no shot at winning the college football playoff. Ooh, I got heated. Got a little heated there. My apologies. But you know what, Augustine? You're right. It's time for Just the Tip.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip? Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Guys, it's that time of year right now, and you should be taking care of yourself because God knows your wife, your girlfriend, whoever wants you to take care of yourself. So why not spoil yourself a little bit? Go to www.myhappynuts.com and get any one of these 4 packages for your package. You can get the Jingle Bells Your Balls Smell package that comes with the comfort cream and the anti-chafe stick. You can get the Jingle Balls Holiday Kit that comes with the Big Wood body wash, the comfort cream, and the deodorant. So you can take care of yourself from your pits to your tip. Santa Balls is coming to town. You get the body wash, the Big Wood body wash. You get the comfort powder, and you get a nice ornament that you can hang up on your Christmas tree that looks like Santa's big sack. And of course, if you're really feeling it, guys, you can get yourself the Santa's Big Sack Bundle. It comes with the deodorant. It comes with the Big Wood body wash. It comes with the comfort powder and, of course, the comfort cream. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. Augustine's saying it's a wife and girlfriend. Both of them should spoil you. Whatever you've got needs to be spoiling you. Your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, I do not care. They need to be spoiling you, and you need to be taking care of your boys. Your sack will thank you. I was going to say it's kind of like Goldfish, the sack that smiles back. But that felt wholly inappropriate. Oh, man. I'm going to get, like, one of these days, I'm going to get, like, kicked off of all platforms for doing any of the stuff that it is that I do. I just thought about that too. Like my employer has to be like, why did we hire this effing guy? Out of all the people we could have hired, we hired this effing guy. Nonetheless, I am employed and we're good to go. So yesterday, the news came out that I guess it wasn't yesterday. I guess it was Monday. The news came out that the Indianapolis Colts were wanting to work out with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers goes, he works out with the Indianapolis Colts, and all of us are saying to ourselves, he's 44 years old. He just became a grandpa at 44 years old, and now he is signed to the Indianapolis Colts practice squad. And I have to sit here and think to myself, now I really want to see Phillip Rivers play. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's going to look good by any means. And how desperate must the Indianapolis Colts be at this point in time where they're saying to themselves, let's kick the tires on Phillip Rivers. I think that's going to be a good one for us. And then how shitty must it be for like other free agent quarterbacks like Ryan Tannehill, who's a little younger, who we saw was halfway decent in Tennessee with the Titans. Got them, I believe, to an AFC championship game. I've got to try to remember like my thoughts on here. Or like any of those young rookie quarterbacks that are free agents right now. Like, how shitty must you feel that the Indianapolis Colts looked at the entire landscape of quarterbacks that are out there and available, and they said to themselves, we're going to go with the 44-year-old guy who just became a grandfather. We're going to have a grandfather playing in the NFL. Again, he's on the practice squad. He's probably just going to be in a mentorship role with the Indianapolis Colts. But I need and want the chaos of a situation where Riley Leonard isn't ready to go. Nobody trusts Trent Richardson. And now the onus of trying to save the season for the Indianapolis Colts falls square on the big burly shoulders of Phillip Rivers. I need that in my veins. And the crazy part about it is, what if Phillip Rivers comes in and is actually halfway decent? Right? Like what if all you need is a game manager if you're the Indianapolis Colts? Like someone who's not going to make mistakes, who's going to make the smart throw. And you figure a rookie quarterback or I guess he's not a rookie, a second-year quarterback. No, he's a rookie, right? Riley Leonard. He's probably going to get rattled in certain situations. He might throw interceptions. He might lose the ball. Something might happen here. All you need is a game manager quarterback because you have one of the best running backs in the NFL in Jonathan Taylor. You've got some good weapons that Phillip Rivers can dump the ball off to. I can't believe it's 2025, and I just said the phrase that Phillip Rivers can drop the ball off to. And Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman, right? Like they've got a solid team there. They have a really good offensive line. Their defense is solid. All you need is a quarterback who is going to make the right decision. And a 44-year-old, wow, again, this coming out of my mouth, a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, he's seen it all. And you must have seen something in him that's made you say, let's give it a shot. But like, why not? Like, let's kick the tires on this and give it a shot. So I'm all about the possibility of Phillip Rivers in 2025, the year of our Lord, 2025. At 44 years old and a grandfather. I cannot stress that enough. A grandfather coming in and saving the season for the Indianapolis Colts. I am all about this. I am 100% about this. I hope that everyone else is with me as well. Sharon Moore's in trouble, guys. I don't know. I hope that you all have been keeping up with this. I don't know necessarily who has been keeping up with this, but ahead of Michigan playing Texas in their bowl game, Sharon Moore, the coach at Michigan, now ex-coach at Michigan, over the last couple of hours, was fired. And as of just a few minutes ago, reported by ESPN's Pete Thamel and Dan Wenzel, he was detained by police in Saline, Michigan, and was later turned over to a second area police department for investigation into potential charges. Quote, the City of Saline Police Department assisted in locating and detaining former University of Michigan football coach Sharon Moore. The department said in a statement released to ESPN, Mr. Moore was turned over to Pittsfield Township Police Department for investigation into potential charges. The article goes on to say the University of Michigan fired Moore as its football coach earlier Wednesday following an investigation into Moore's conduct with a staff member. Head football coach Sharon Moore has been terminated. Quote, this is all a quote. Head football coach Sharon Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately, the school said in a statement. Following a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The conduct constituted is a clear violation of the university policy, and UM maintains a zero-tolerance policy for such behavior. That is absolutely wild. Augustine hitting us with a deep cut from El Paso, saying that he got Jason Rabideau vibes from this. For those of you that don't remember, Jason Rabideau was the former head coach at the University of Texas at El Paso basketball program. I believe the first head coach, Augustine, you can correct me on this, but I believe he was the first head coach following the retirement of Don Haskins. If not, maybe the second head coach following the firing or the retirement of Don Haskins. And as he was on I believe a call, like a coach's show at a radio station or something like that, his mistress came out on air and started making a ton of allegations. Rabideau was fired. At least that's from what I remember of the things happening. I was still in high school, I believe, during all this. So it was that's a little cloudy in my memory. Yeah, he was the first coach following Don Haskins. Ultimately, Rabideau gets fired, bounces around from place to place, winds up being a coach in Vietnam, and if I'm not mistaken, had like a sexual encounter that turned bad and wound up passing away in Vietnam not too long ago. I want to say it was about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, so maybe that is long for some people. But now I got to do this. I did not want to have to look this up, but here we go. Wow, it was 11 years ago. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Jesus. Yeah, I was still in high school for this. Okay, let's see if we can find personal life and death. That is hard to read. Jesse Carter saying, I think a way we could do bowls with 12 teams is instead of Power 5 automatic bids, do only 4 conferences based solely geographically. Top 3 teams from each first week, 2 and 3 ranks play against each other. Round 2 goes to 1 v winner of second and third ranking. Northeastern Conference, Southeastern Conference, Northwestern Conference, Southwestern Conference. Final game could be East versus West. I like it, right? You could also have like a North versus South type thing. Like, I guess, like, I agree with you that, like, the big wrench there, though, is that Notre Dame's never going to join a conference. And I think that's the issue that's at hand right now, right? Like, if Notre Dame was in the ACC, they would have played for the ACC championship game. They more than likely would have beat Virginia. At least you kind of think they would have beat Virginia. And it would be them in as an automatic qualifier. Now, obviously, again, Duke winning the ACC was the big wrench that was thrown into everything. But, man, it's just right now, and even whenever they expanded to 12 teams in the college football playoff, it wasn't going to be perfect. And it's not perfect. And it's hard to come up with a perfect scenario, right? Because now you have to think about how would the structure of a north, south, east, west type of division go, right? Like who would be in these divisions? What teams are going to be kicked out of these divisions? How many teams are going to be in the divisions? And I'm with you on the fact that not everybody belongs in the Power 5 conferences, which is why I think college football presents itself in a different way for the European model of relegation, right? I think if you came up with 16 teams, and Jesse, I might work on this tomorrow, so this might be something we talk about in the future. But if you work on 4 divisions of 16 teams each, the worst team of that division, and then you have 4 divisions of like 4 subdivisions that follow those 4 major divisions, and now you can promote the best team from this conference. Subdivision A gets to go into Major Division A. The worst team in Major Division A gets sent down to the Subdivision A, right? Like, I feel like you can do that with college football better than you can with the NFL, better than you can with Major League Baseball or anything of that nature, right? And Augustine I know you're a soccer fan and you're all about, the European model of relegation. I feel like with the NCAA, that's how they get their power back, because right now it's just whoever is doing whatever and you go on your way out, right? Like, let's get rid of the computers. Let's get rid of the committees. Let's have these teams play and let's have them rank against each other, right? Your non-conference schedule can be whoever you want it to be. And then the rest of it is just within the conference, right? Like, I don't want to see these four conferences play against each other and then, spoil it for everyone else, right? Like, because I think that that's what a lot of this boils down to too, is now if you're in the SEC, you have to schedule a couple of ACC teams there because we care about strength of schedule and all this other bullshit that kind of surrounds college football right now. If you just make it black and white, wins and losses within your division, and hell, we can break it up like there's other ways we can break this up. I'll work on it a little bit more because I think thinking it out right now, you can come up with a bunch of different plans. But I really like that idea, Jesse. And I like the idea of having promotion and relegation, right? Like you have to reward. You want to reward a James Madison for being a group of 5 winner. I am 100% with that. But they do not belong in the college football playoff. They are not going to win the national championship. So reward them by moving them up. Now it's up to them. Let's sustain this growth and stay within the major conference, within the major division, or else we get relegated. I'm with it. Relegation would work perfectly in college football. I think that's going to be our next thing that we do, is that we work within that structure. Augustine saying, brilliant, it can work. Jesse saying, amen, brother. The structure is already there. I'm with you. I feel like this is going to be the way, right? Like, this would be the way that fixes college football. You keep your 12-team playoff, 3 teams, like Jesse said, from each one of the divisions. We'll call it like a conference, right? We'll break it up like the AFC and the NFC, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, with the Northern Division and the Southern Division. They're champions. The champion of the South and the North meet. They play against each other. The champion of the South and the North on the West play against each other. That champion plays in the national championship. I am about this. And it all comes down to wins and losses. How you do in your conference. And now you can break it down to like, okay, well, we can get strength of schedule within our conference, right? The tiebreakers and all that stuff are there. It works out perfectly, especially with a 12-game season. You know what? I'm going to have to write it down because this is what I'm going to wind up doing in my off time. Here we go. And you start off with in these divisions and conferences with the highest named teams, right? Like the teams that bring you value, because obviously that's what you want. And if they really want to stay there, then they've got to stay there. Like, I can picture UTEP being like a Division III team. I think we'll wind up having 4 divisions, to be honest with you. But I can see a scenario where, and again, right? Like, is Texas Tech being this good a flash in the pan? Or is it, the stepping stone they need to propel themselves to something else? Reward James Madison. Augustine saying Division III. It could happen, dude. Like, they're bad. They are bad. I've got to see how many teams are in college football right now. You get 16 teams per division. That gives you 64. I believe there's 160 or 136 teams. Man, I'm good. 136. 136. So with that remaining 64 plus 8 would be 72 teams. You can create a bunch of different conferences. I like this. Division 1, Augustine has expanded. It is 136 teams now as of the 2025 season. Or, no, yeah, 136 teams as of the 2025 season. 136 teams in Division 1 right now. The FCS Division 2 has 129 teams. So that might be where you're kind of thinking. You lose points if you schedule a Division 2 team like an FCS team. You lose points. I like what we're like. I like this. We're fixing college football, guys. Maybe that's what we need to do. Now that I'm a front office sports guy, which is still so funny to say that my goofy ass is a front office sports guy. Now that I'm a front office sports guy, maybe once I'm done with my master's degree from Texas Tech, get into like athletic departments and stuff like that. We start planting the seed. We start planting the seed, guys. We can do this. We will change. The Tipton Sports Broadcasting, along with the people that have supported me over the years, we are going to change college football. I believe it within my soul. Man, that's going to be good. Tommy Canazza saying Mike Tipton for Cowboys GM. I'm not going to lie. That is my goal. Like I want to become the general manager of a professional sports team or an athletic director of a Division I college. Like that is my goal. I know it's late in life for your boy, but if there's one thing I do, it's I set a goal and I find a way to achieve it. So now I've had this goal just planted within me because it was weird looking at my employer's website and seeing front office staff, Mike Tipton, being there. And it was like, wow, I didn't even think about that when I accepted the job, that I am going to be a front office manager of a professional sports team, which is just mind-blowing to me. Because if you would have asked me, hell, 5 years ago when I got laid off from iHeartRadio, what I was going to do, I would not have said this road that I have meandered over the last 5 years. And thank you to those of you, Tommy, Augustine, Jesse. I know you've been there from time to time whenever you can, my guy. A bunch of the others out there as well that have supported this weird meandering road of mine. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see where it goes over the next couple of years. Mike Tipton, Cowboys GM. I like the ring of that. It might happen whenever I'm 82 and senile, just like Jerry, and we can just keep the cycle going. I am with this, Tommy. Let's make it happen. I'll be drafting players that died. Let's get Emmitt Smith back in here. He's got to have a great grandson by now. That is wild. Maybe I should be a little more mature, given what's happened in recent times. Oh, well. I'm good. We're good. Augustine saying, I'm going to have to talk with Alejandra and Paul. You're like, don't give this guy anything. He needs to be fired right now. Granted, like what I'm in charge of is like yay big in the grand scheme of everything, but I'm good with it. Jesse Carter saying, I will be there when it happens, brother. I appreciate that, my guy. Jesse has seen it from the beginning. All the way in our time in the Air Force, Jesse and I both stationed at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Feels like forever ago. Augustine saying, and by the way, your front office now, what about those unis for the kids? I cannot push those things through, my guy. I've asked. I didn't get a response. Maybe it's a whole after the season type thing. I'm not 100% sure. I'll talk to somebody else. We'll see what we can do. And as you know, the El Paso Locomotive have just recently welcomed in a new general manager, which is awesome to see as well. I was also looking up, guys, today because I know that it more than likely won't happen again, that Texas Tech gets into the college football playoff, right? Like this is the first time Texas Tech has won a conference since 1956 outright. They're in the college football playoff. So I was looking up trips from El Paso to Miami, and I was like, I don't know if I want to fly on New Year's Eve / Christmas or New Year's Day and then have to come back. I was like, I wonder what the drive would be like, right? Like, let's take the family down to Miami. Let's see what that drive would be like. And that's a 27.5-hour drive. Granted, I drove to Alaska, which was a 75-hour drive. But, you know, maybe we do it. Maybe we do it. Augustine's saying 56, that's UTEP territory. No, 100%. Now, granted, the Big 12, much harder to win in whenever Oklahoma and Texas and A&M and a lot of these other teams were in the Big 12. So it was a tougher road for Texas Tech to be able to win their conference. Whenever you're playing in the WAC and everyone in the WAC left, it's easy to win your championship in 2000. But you ain't done jack squat since then. When was the last time UTEP won their conference champ? I want to say it was 2000, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. Augustine. I did you know that? You had to have known this. UTEP has won in their history 2 championships. They won a co-championship in 2000 in the WAC. And the last time they won an outright championship was also 1956. And that was the Border Conference. That's wild. So UTEP hasn't won an outright championship since 1956. Texas Tech broke that curse. Maybe UTEP can do it in the Mountain West. We'll see. Maybe not. Let's close the loop on the Jason Rabideau stuff. In Vietnam, Rabideau met Hong Young Win, named Eva by foreigners, and the two began a relationship with plans to marry and return to the United States. After Rabideau returned from a trip to Wisconsin, his behavior, which included becoming increasingly hostile and smelling of alcohol, attracted the attention of Heat owner Connor Wynn, who warned him that he could cause another incident. If he should cause another incident, he would be fired. Wynn then hired Tony Garbaletto as an assistant and potential interim coach. During games, he appeared to be unstable and dizzy. During his final games against the Warriors, he attempted to draw up a play but was unable to, and Garbaletto had to explain the play. The day after that game, Rabideau was found by Eva in the kitchen with cuts on his arms and his head and died while in a local taxi cab. His death certificate listed the reason of death as traumatic brain injury. Toxicology reports revealed that Rabideau had been sober at the time of his death. Man, what a sad story that was. But I said I had to read about it because I knew that it had happened in Vietnam. I just needed to get the details on it. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for tuning into today's show. It's been an absolute blast. I hope I will see you all tomorrow. Short show tomorrow because of Thursday Night Football, but we'll see you all then. Have a good night, everybody.